Did you know that an estimated 20 to 50% of students enter college as undecided, and an estimated 75% of students change their major at least once before graduation? Our group is excited to let you know that we have figured out a way for students to better understand how a communication study degree at Youngstown State can equip students with a skill set that will offer them multiple career opportunities and maximize their investment by allowing students to graduate on time. Our group members are Justin Barker, Callie DePiro, Charles Powell, and myself, Anthony DeTosto. First, we discussed our experiences that helped us realize the importance communication has in the working world. Then we had to go back in time to understand what it's like not to have had the experience that we have today in order to reach out to students that are also in that same spot where they don't have that experience yet. Next, we discussed the growth of the college and acknowledged the opportunities that we have to reach incoming students who may not be aware of the opportunities a communication studies degree can provide them. Finally, we met to organize our campaign in order to send a clear message to the students of the university. Developing effective communication skills takes time and practice. Having experience working with others in groups will allow people to understand the overall importance that communication has in the working world. When we met for this online class, we did not know each other. Never ran into each other on campus. I was always in the Williamson College of Business. They were probably more on the main side of campus, underneath the basement at the library. And so we had to take the time to really introduce ourselves and share our stories. Why were we communicating, or why were we in this class? What are we doing here? We decided, I think that was a very important part of our group process, is that we took the time to get to know each other before we just started working together. It allowed us to understand where this person's coming from. We got to understand our communication style that each of us have. We got to see their story and what each of our strengths and weaknesses are. So it was very important to the campaign development. We all knew that we would have to work together to make this project successful, and we all took the time to get to know each other before doing so. I know I felt much better about working with my group members after learning that we have all had different experiences and strengths to bring to the table. And although we have all had different experiences, we understand the importance of working together to accomplish a task that we are presented to accomplish. From the very beginning, we knew we had a project to do. We got to know each other. We got to understand why we're all here. And through each of our different experiences and life paths that have brought us here, it's a very good thing to know that not everyone just thinks the same. They come up with new ideas. I come up with new ideas. We all work together, and it ends up actually becoming a much better, higher quality project that will reach out to more than just someone who thinks like me or someone who thinks like one of my group members. We learned that even though we all go to the same university, there are many different approaches and reasons why people decide to study communications. Each of us do something different. Charles mentioned that he doesn't want to be limited by a title, and he noticed that his experience through working, that he notices people that have strong communication skills become leaders of groups of people, and those leaders of groups of people end up with the best opportunities that there are out there. So he doesn't want to be limited. He doesn't want to be tied down to one thing. I myself actually want to be tied down to one thing. I went to school to study accounting. I shared my experience of how I chose a narrower path, but I'm actually towards the end of my degree, and after working in the field, I identified a strength where I know I could grow, and that's in communications. The better communicator I become, the better I could service my clients for their tax issues. So it's just another way to show that it's an important thing. It's important in the business world, and it's important for each of us who've held jobs and have had to work our way through school. And then once we got to know each other, we realized that we all have experience. We all have had to make it ourselves, and we understand the importance that communication brings to the table in any job setting. But we also came to the conclusion that we're going to have to solve a big problem with this campaign. We're going to have to be able to understand and recognize the people who are coming into the college. How are we going to get them recruited to understand how communication is important when they haven't had experience? But we worked very well together. I have a lot of respect for my group members, and I'm very glad to have been able to have been part of this experience.